Hiya, I'm Eve. I work at Arts for Health. I do art therapy. Today we're doing a short video. This is based on our senses, so we're doing what's called a sensory scale. So what we're doing today, we're going to go outside and collect some natural materials. We're going to collect materials that attract our senses in some way. So we're going to be focusing on our senses and gathering a range of materials, and then we're going to come back inside and make a scale of those materials. So that could be things that we can see that are remarkable, things that we can smell that are interesting, or things that we can touch with our hands that have some interesting texture. So the thing about this process is that it gives us a chance to explore and engage with our senses in a way that we probably haven't since we were younger, since we were a child. So engaging with natural materials, or even materials that you just find as you walk around. If you're able to go outside a little bit, if you have a little bit of a green space, even some pot plants inside can be helpful. Just gathering some materials and giving ourselves a little space of time to explore how our senses respond to those materials. So we're going to make a scale from what I enjoy most to what I enjoy least, and a few other different scales. So let's do that together. So the first step is to go outside and gather 5 to 6 different items, leaves, stones, sticks, anything that attracts your attention or your senses in some way. Okay, so I have my materials. I was very tempted to get more than 5 or 6, but this is what I've got. So the first one is some lime leaf. It's a couple of leaves off a lime tree. The second one, I believe, is a magnolia leaf. It attracted my attention because it's yellow. The third one is some rosemary, so this attracted my attention because I know that it smells quite strong. I wouldn't say that I love the smell, but it's a very powerful smell. The fourth one is some sage, so this attracted my attention because of the texture and definitely the colour, but it's got sort of a soft, dry, fuzzy texture that I noticed. Another one was just some little seeds off the ground, so I'm not sure what these are, but their texture was interesting and it reminded me how different they are to the other living things that I had. They sort of look like they're right at the end of their life and quite interesting and wrinkly. I saw a bright flower, so I got a little flower head, a very strong colour there, and also some interesting velvety texture there. This one is the flower head from some chives, so the interesting shape that it has, and I know that it's got an interesting smell as well. So chives, and I've also got a stone here, so I picked this up because I could notice that on one end there's some white and the rest of it is quite sort of long and straight, so it's a little interesting shape. So that's what I've got. These are my natural materials, so let's do our process. So the first step is to put your materials out on a page. So first just lay them out so they've got space. The second thing is to lay them out in order of colour. So this can be any colour. It might be the strong colours on one side going towards the paler, less strong colours. It might be in order of the rainbow. It could be in any order of colour that suits you. The next thing is to put them in order of texture. So maybe soft, smooth textures on one side and rough textures on the other side, or it could be shiny textures on one side and more matte textures on the other side. So in order of texture is our second one. The third thing is putting them in order of smell. So you might want to crush them up a little bit, rip a little piece off, notice how it smells. Maybe it's got no smell, maybe it's got a strong smell. Put them in order of smell. So this could be strong smell on this side and weaker smell on this side, or it could be enjoyable smell for you on one side and the least enjoyable on the other side. So any order according to smell. And then the final order to put them in is what is your favourite and what is your least favourite. So what do you feel most connected to and what do you feel least connected to? Again, this is not about judgment or better or worse. It's just about what do I feel most connected to right now. So you might have one of these items that reminds you of something. It might have a colour that links to something for you. It might be about the smell that makes you feel a certain way. So any order of favourite to least favourite. So let's do that together. Okay, so here is my page. So my first thing to do is just lay the materials out. So here they are. I've definitely got more than 5 or 6. I think, what do I have? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and my stone 8. There we go. So the first thing to do is to put them in order of colour. So this can be any colour sequence that you feel you would like. So I think I'm going to have my green. I'm going to go red, yellow, purple, purple, green, green, red, yellow, purple, purple, green, green, then grey. So it's a bit of a curve there in terms of colour. Now what's another order of colour that I could do? Maybe red, then purple, ooh, then grey, then green, green, yellow. Ooh, that's cool. Green, green, yellow, whatever that colour is, pale yellow. Okay, I like that. Okay, so then our next sequence is to lay them out in order of texture. So, getting in touch. So this is kind of textured. It's sort of smooth, but kind of leathery. So, oh, is this leathery? This is a little bit leathery, so let's put leathery together. This is even more leathery. I'd say that's dry. So let's put dry, leathery. Ooh. That's even drier, I guess. Okay, so maybe this is an order of dryness. How dry are these? Oh, I think they would go in between there. Then is this more dry than this? Oh man. This is quite soft. This is almost sticky, so maybe that's drier, less dry. Now, is this more or less dry than this? Oh, maybe I think that one might be more. I guess most wet, but it's not very wet. And then they all get drier, drier, drier down to the rock, which is very dry. Okay, so it's sort of like least leathery, most leathery. I sort of started off with leathery. This is like beyond leathery, and this has got a little bit of moisture in it. What's another texture I could do? Maybe fuzziness. I feel like this feels fuzzy. Not really fuzzy, but sort of soft. Okay, soft. Oh, that's even more soft. So soft, soft. Then this. Is this more soft than this? Yeah, definitely. And so then that would be next. And then, oh, what's... So that, again, that would be least soft. Oh. That's quite soft, though. I think maybe like that. Is that soft? I think that's a bit more soft than that. Okay, so most soft, least soft. What's another texture? Oh, most shiny. Because this looks shiny, this looks shiny, these look kind of shiny. I think, oh, is this shiny? Kind of. Oh, what's more shiny out of those? I would say this, let's put this. Oh, no, this is catching the light. So most shiny, then this would be next. Then I know that's shiny, so what's more shiny out of that? That's actually got a bit of shine on the white, so I might go, then that, then, ooh, this is shiny. No, is it? I would say that sort of is the opposite. That's like matte. That's pretty matte. That's got the tiniest bit of shine, so yeah, like this. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Most shiny, least shiny. Okay, in order of smell. Now, as I've been touching them, I've got a bit of smell. I mean, that's a very potent smell. Okay, let me get a leaf here. So I'm going to crush it a little bit. Oh, that's very strong though. Wowee. Zingy lemon. Let me see this. Now these seeds, I wouldn't say that has much of a smell. Does this have a smell? Oh yeah, that's got kind of like a autumny smell, so a little bit of smell, no smell. What does this have? Oh yeah, that's probably about the same level. That reminds me of salad. Dinner, maybe sort of oniony. Does this rock have a smell? All I can smell is the other stuff on my hands. Okay, now this should have a smell because it's sage. Yeah, kind of slightly stinky smell. I would say it's got about the same amount as those. Those are all kind of equal. Okay, I would say strongest, next strongest. I think that had the tiniest bit, and then those are all equal. Okay, all right, in order of favorite, so I really like this because it feels summery. This is strong and got lots of associations with family and being in the garden and cooking. But I don't really like the smell. It feels a little bit like a headache smell to me. Like it reminds me of a headache, that smell. This is just beautiful, so I think that's near the top. This is pretty. Oh, they're all pretty. They're all beautiful. I like the colour. I think that's middling. That reminds me of school. This sort of reminds me of like travelling and walking over interesting, different terrain. So I think that's going to be high. And I just love the summeriness of this. Basically, I love them all, but let's try and go, what has a favourite memory attached to it? So those are all favoured. Chives, not so much, but it's a beautiful colour. Okay, I'm going to put these in the middle because I like the colour, but they don't have huge memories. I don't need that school memory, so maybe I'll put that down lower. Yellow is pretty high, and then, oh yes, I'll put this, I think I'll put this here because it's got a memory, positive memory, but I don't actually like the smell. And then those are all right at the top. Okay, there's my favourite scale, my scale of most favourite to least favourite. Okay, and the final thing is to lay them out in a way that feels pleasing. So we'll get another layout that feels good. A little bit like what we did at the beginning. I want yellow over there. I'm going to leave you up the top. This can be my green. Leafy greens over there, and then maybe purple stuff. So I seem to have gone back to colour associations, but I like that layout. I sort of want, oh no, rock needs to be up there. Oh, I know. I'll put a bit more stuff at the bottom, a bit more grass. Something green at the bottom. I might put another leaf down there. So that feels good to me, having something tall and green there. I've got a bit of ground. Now, do I want this? Maybe curving up from the ground. Okay, sort of like the curve there. Maybe that can go nearby. Oh yeah. Okay, and then is that too much? Okay, so I quite like this height. I like this height, and I like how this is curving up. Maybe this can come down. Oh yeah, that's better. keeps wanting to be like that, so maybe I'll just let it prance around there. Okay, I like the height, I like how this is coming up. I like this hanging down from above, that's quite cool. This needs a bit more space around it. Okay, so those two are balancing each other, very light and airy and a bit more hard and heavy. Things coming up from the earth and things hanging down from the sky. Okay, so there's my final image. So I've noticed that I can smell more, I've got some textures, I've got some feeling in my fingers, I've interacted with my senses, sight, sound, smell. So I've noticed a little bit more about my senses, I've made an image, I've explored a few different things about sight and smell and texture. I've made some choices about what links to me, some things that are my favourite and least favourite. So I'm feeling very focused on myself and on my senses. That was just a nice quick way to get grounded again. Okay, so I've used my natural materials to make a few different sensory scales. I've explored how things smell, different textures, the way they feel to my fingers, different colours and sights. I've made a few choices about my memories and favourites. So that's just a way to get into my body, into my senses, explore a little bit about the sensory world and the natural materials that we can find around us. I notice that I'm a little bit more just in the present having done that. I'm a bit more aware of what's happening for me just on a physical sensory level, and I'm feeling quite calm and just in the moment. So that's just a cool, quick way of getting a little bit grounded. So one thing that you could do after making these sensory scales is choose some of the materials and make an image. So you could use hot glue or plasticine or different materials, even using paint to use alongside these natural materials, and make an image about the outdoors or about your senses or about yourself in the present. But this is just one short way of getting grounded and getting back connected with your senses. So I hope you've enjoyed our process today. I hope you give it a go, and see you in our next video.